Midnight car wash, 2 tokens, no kiss. I run the night shift at a self-serve car wash on the edge of town. After midnight, the tunnel is an obedient ocean. Pumps, blowers, a conveyor that hums. People come for clean. Mostly they come for cover. Steam writes temporary sentences on glass. My booth is a glass box with a cash drawer and a stool that leans left. I'm married. Lee says I married water first. When our apartment gets too quiet for the things we don't say, I take extra shifts. The tunnel doesn't ask for context. It asks for quarters. At 12:38 a.m., a white sedan slid into Bay 4. Her windows were fogged from inside, which is never about weather. I tapped the intercom. "Card readers on your left," I said. "Tokens if you need them." She rolled the window an inch. Jasmine slipped out. "Do you sell time?" she asked. $10 buys 20 minutes, I said. 12 if you promise to leave better than you arrived. She laughed once. 20, she said, and passed a card through the slit. I brought back 2 brass tokens. As I handed them over, her ring flashed, hid, flashed again, undecided. "You okay?" I asked, breaking my rule about not being human at work. "Define okay." She tucked a strand of hair behind her ear, steadying her hand. "I'm Hannah." "Evan," I said. She fed a token. Foam fell like deliberate weather. When she reached for a napkin, something slid out from under it, a hotel key card. It landed by the gearshift. She didn't pick it up. "Soap is 60 seconds, I said on the intercom. "Rinse is 90. The dryer lies take another 30. "Copy," she said, somewhere between mockery and gratitude. When the fans cut, she rolled into the lot and parked under the one light that doesn't flicker. The window dropped all the way. "Do you ever feel clean?" she asked, "or just less dirty?" "Depends on weather. I remember the floor mats." She looked at the key card. "I came from a hotel," she said. "I didn't go upstairs." "Need a towel?" I asked. "Your windshield missed a corner." "Please." I wiped the inner glass, breathing citrus and heat and a trace of cologne that thought it was discreet. The card sat where it fell. "You can hand that to me," she said. "I'm trying to be brave without souvenirs." I passed it over. It felt heavier than plastic should. She slid it into the cup holder like a Bible into a nightstand. "He's waiting," she said. "He'll pretend he just got there. He's good at performing patience." "Boyfriend." "Not mine," she said, showing me the ring. "I'm married. He's a coworker who thinks rooftops are ethical if no one Googles the time stamp. Jonah, my husband, builds kitchens. We're saving for one. I keep saying I want space for a second sink. Lately, I want space to say stupid things without a witness." "You've got one now," I said. "I'm professionally unmemorable." She looked at me the way people look at maps, for routes that aren't printed. "Do you work here because machines say what they're going to do?" "I work here because water forgives faster than people," I said. "And because I almost texted someone last spring and needed a job that doesn't applaud cleverness." "What did the text say?" "You up," I said. "A poem, I deleted it. It took an hour to delete in my head." "I wrote rooftop twice," she said. "I didn't send it, then I left the house anyway. That counts." "You can run it again," I said. "Double wash works on regret." She dropped the second token, put the car in neutral, and set her palms up on her thighs like a student willing to learn. Foam fell again. Brushes kissed the sedan. Inside, she closed her eyes. "My husband thinks I'm at my sister," she said. "He would forgive me if I called this research. He's generous. Tonight I wondered if generosity is laziness." "Sometimes," I said. thinking of Lee and the months we replaced conversation with favors, of the kitchen faucet I fixed instead of asking why she'd stopped laughing at my jokes. "Do you have kids?" "No," I said. "A rescue dog who thinks she's a therapist. Lee teaches yoga." "Jonah wants twins," she said. "He names things before they exist." Drier wind roared. She rolled out and parked in the same pool of light, tapped the roof twice, then turned to me. "What would you do if you were me?" "I'd recycle the card," I said, "and go home to say something that makes you dislike your own voice." "What if that breaks the kitchen?" "Then the kitchen was staging," I said, "not cooking." She snapped the card in half and handed me the pieces like a receipt she didn't want to keep. "Trash." "We have a special bin," I said, "for choices." She laughed in relief. "Do you miss what you don't do?" "Every day," I said. "It's how I know I'm awake." A blue pickup idled in Bay 1, pretending to check coin trays. Hannah followed my glance, read the situation, and decided with her shoulders. "Thanks for the water," she said, starting the engine, "and for not making this a sermon." "Washers are terrible pulpits," I said. She drove off. The pickup backed out without entering. Sometimes everybody chooses the same ending, just different doors. I tossed the snapped card, then texted Lee, "You awake? If I bring donuts, will you drink coffee at a rude hour and talk faucets and nouns?" 3 dots appeared, went away, returned. "Yes, cinnamon. I'll make the good mugs honest." At 1:32 a.m., a man rolled in with road salt tattooed up his minivan. "Tips?" he asked, handing me a crumpled 5. "Floor mats," I said. "Always the floor mats." Before locking up, I checked a note we taped to the change machine for a lost ring. Under it, engraving says, "Try again tomorrow. We are." I left the note for whoever needed optimism next. I shut down the pumps. The place exhaled. Steam thinned into air. I grabbed the towel bag, jacket, donut box, and the memory of a woman who had performed neutrality long enough to earn honesty. I washed my hands for no reason and locked the booth. Lee was in the kitchen in a sweater too big for apologies, hair pinned with a pencil. She set 2 mugs on the counter and looked at me in the way that takes attendance. "Present." "I found a receipt tonight," I said before the donuts could buy delay. "Not mine. I invented a catastrophe, then dissolved it on purpose." She tilted her head. "Reckless and kind," she said. "I also watched someone refuse a rooftop," I said, "and decided to stop fixing faucets when I'm afraid of water." She smiled with her mouth and eyes at once. "Sit," she said. "Tell me the version where we keep the kitchen and change the map." So I did. I told her about tokens, fans that think they're weather, a hotel card snapped into 2, a pickup leaving when it understood the plot was canceled, how clean isn't the same as clear. When I finished, Lee slid the donuts closer like a treaty and set her hand near mine, the closest safe. "I don't want generosity as laziness," she said, "but I want generosity." "Me too," I said. "Also pancakes on a weekday and the dog on the couch." "She already thinks the couch is church," Lee said, and we laughed like people remembering humor is a utility. At 2:11 a.m., we broke a donut with our fingers instead of a knife, and decided to be awake a little longer in a kitchen that never promised to be a stage. "I'll keep the night shift. Some people need steam that doesn't take notes. But I'll come home earlier when I can, with coffee I shouldn't and truths I should. The tunnel can forgive the outside. Inside, we'll try faucets and nouns and names said aloud, even if they sound unproofread. Water keeps its own calendar. So do people. Tonight hours overlapped just enough to count.